not me again. It's the Seventh Layer podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Seventh Layer podcast, episode 1. Just want to shout out a massive thank you to our mods 21, Jotaro and Speedy for helping us out with this, and of course the band themselves, specifically M Shadows, for getting us into NFTs and giving us the green light to go ahead and record this podcast here live for you. So I'm Kieran, and I am joined by my team of cultists themselves, Wildcat.
What's up, guys?
Dark Lord.
Hey, what's up?
Emmy.
What's up?
And Sarge.
Hello.
Cool. How are we all doing today, guys?
Pretty
Doing pretty good.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I'm real good, thank you. Other than this massive project, what we got going on in our lives? It's been a busy week, huh?
It's
Busy
been real
week.
fucking busy,
Been
mate.
pretty crazy.
It's
My birthday's
been
in 4 days.
Nice. Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
holy shit! Oh my god. It's been a busy week, but it's been admittedly a very fun week.
It's been worth it.
God.
I'll say that.
Behind the scenes, a lot of shit has been going down, but in a good way. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. So thank you guys for everything. Oh shucks.
All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Today on the Seventh Layer podcast, we're going to look at a few key topics, starting with decentralization. What does that mean to me and you? Going into a few quick glossary words to help us understand along the way. We're going to look at Metamask and get a little bit of a feel for how Metamask works, how you can transfer your money from Coinbase, which we're going over as well, and into Metamask. And like I said, we're going to go over some of the currency exchange options out there with a focus on Coinbase, kind of get you a little bit of an understanding of how to jump into all this. Again, this is just a rudimentary episode. If you've never heard of anything NFT, decentralized, crypto related. And so everyone, are we doing all right as far as how's our understanding with everything? Does anybody have any questions regarding any of this?
I think we could start with what is decentralization for all the people here that don't know?
So decentralization, in a nutshell, is separating away from what we know as a culture today. It's separating from government regulations on currency, on the internet, on everything. It's basically giving the power back to the people and letting the people run everything versus having the government controlling everything, censoring everything, especially online.
Yeah.
We're gonna Web 2, for example, is in the basis term. It's controlled. It's censored, and we all know our information is sold out to every organization that wants it. So by going and switching to Web 3, which is part of the decentralized world, you have the option to go peer-to-peer with everything. It allows people to have their, like I said, their control back in their hands, and it brings us to a point in history where we decide where we're going next.
Absolutely. Everyone holds their private keys. It utilizes smart contracts, which are self-executing, and it's all recorded on the blockchain. And there's a lot more options available in terms of things like altcoins. There's a lot of diversity there. The only downside is obviously it requires a bit of familiarity with things like wallets and then how to fund those wallets, and then using marketplaces like Metamask. Well, not marketplaces like Metamask, but decentralized apps and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason why decentralization is really at the heart of this is because, I mean, it's like, if we're not going to accept that stuff like this and technology and the internet is the future, I don't know when we're going to start accepting it. So
Exactly.
it's independence as well. I think that's very important, and that's basically all I have to say about that.
Really important to
very
point out as
exciting-
well that I think, Matt Shadows said this himself, is that we are still super early to the game. Whilst NFTs and cryptocurrency has existed for a little while, this feels like it's the time now where it's starting to jump in size.
Absolutely. It's a whole new world out there, and if we don't explore it now, well, when are we going to start,
Exactly, yeah.
May as well jump ahead, get in the game now, and you know, see what it has to offer.
Yeah, for sure. And
Gotta
you
start
know,
somewhere.
yeah, and like I was saying, all of us are still learning along with everyone else. We don't have
Yeah.
any more.
We're not professionals. We're not like here to tell you this is the cold hard facts and you're gonna listen to every bloody word we say. We are just as stupid as you are. So we're learning along the way with you.
We're in this together. That's what's important.
Exactly.
High
Yeah.
School Musical.
We all
And
know
this
what
is
that
the whole
is.
thing about. This is why we have this podcast, because you know we're all learning. We all want to encourage everyone to try, you know, at least have a look into it. You know, if it's not for you, then well, you know.
Admittedly, like crypto and NFT, it was like joining this server, it was the last channel I expected to be so invested in, and now every time I open the server, it's the first channel I visit to. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, same.
no regrets. I still cry over all of the like Bones Club things I can't afford, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll go over some of the
We'll go over
cool
all of
collections
that.
later.
Yeah.
And if any of you got any questions, there is a little text channel above the 7th Lair podcast that we're in now that you can put your questions in, and we'll answer a bunch towards the end of this podcast.
We'll try and
Yeah.
do as many as we can, so fire away.
I was
Yeah.
going to jump in on what Emmy was saying. You know, I joined Discord. I've been quiet on Reddit for a little bit now, which is where I got involved with the Vince community mostly since the changing over of Deathbat News, which was the first community I was with. And this Discord has been amazing. And when I got the Into the Ether NFT from Avenge, I just had the idea of, oh, this is cool. Get a new song, all that. The artwork, of course, by Cam Rackham is amazing, but I didn't really care for it at first, if I'm being honest. I thought it was something that was just weird, weird tech. And then as I jumped in, everybody knows I'm the Link Lord. So for me, it became a second home. I dived into this and I went hardcore into this. And honestly, looking at decentralization and for a basis on what intrigues me the most, I'm intrigued the most by what this will do for us in the future, as far as revolutionizing every aspect around us through the Ethereum blockchain. I've dropped many links that you have seen, and I'm sure I'll drop more forever, but focusing on things like healthcare. M Shadows has said things about Fortnite. And there's so many aspects to all of this that it just became something that fully enveloped me, and I wouldn't be here today without them introducing us. And we get to start this and bring our knowledge and what we know to everyone else, help everyone else, and learn as much as we can along the way. We're all dedicated and we all are super excited about this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, you know, it is time to decentralize.
Fuck yeah, it is.
It'll be fun. It's a fun experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like I said, everything changes from here on out as more people get involved with this.
Yeah.
To
Absolutely.
to add on to what Dark was saying, I'm definitely one of those who believe that like utility or just how you use this sort of stuff is I wouldn't say it's the most important thing, but it's definitely very important because a lot of people will just be like, oh, you're just trying to get money. Oh, okay, whatever. Not whatever, get out of my face, you know. But they don't realize that there's so much that you can do with this. You know, it's not just this thing that you need to research and really read into and understand and feel like big brain, you know. It's like, it's you know, it's you know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Somewhere. Okay, so should we go over a few terms? You know, just around.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in with one action because these may come up throughout the thing. Everybody who's been on the NFT channel will know that while Wikipedia just gets airdrops, and that's been a question quite a bit. So I wanted to give a sort of definition to that, if I could, just so that people, as we go talk about this podcast, people can jump in and understand a bit about what we're saying if they have no idea what this is. So for anyone listening, airdrop is a method of distribution. NFTs are dropped, similar to iPhone airdrops or whatever, into people's wallets via their address. Also kind of the same as what happened with the Instant Ether NFTs. Drop that and you get it in there. Anybody else want to jump in on any of this?
Yeah, I thought I'd just hop in with a few kind of basic terms. Obviously, later on when we talk about Metamask, we're going to be talking about things like wallets and addresses, and later on down the line we'll talk more in depth on some of those things. But, you know, a lot of people are probably wondering, you know, what's a wallet? Is it like something I put in my pocket? No. So a wallet in this case... Yeah, a wallet in this case is something like Metamask. It is a digital place where you can hold all your cryptocurrencies and your NFTs. So, as I said, Metamask is one. My first wallet was actually a Bitsky wallet, which is very simple. We won't go into that one. We'll talk about Metamask because that's probably the most popular and the most useful. And a wallet address is the big, long text. When you would set up one, you'll see a big long text. It's usually like 0x, yada yada yada. That is what is used, as Dark mentioned about airdrops. That's where you shall send and receive currencies and NFTs. So in an airdrop, you give the person the long string, and that is your address. You give it to them, and they will give you an NFT if you're part of the airdrop.
For sure. And then, speaking of wallets, since you're on that, a cold wallet is similar to that, except it's offline. That's never connected to the internet, and they protect your cryptocurrencies from getting hacked online.
Yeah. Similarly, a hot wallet is one that is online.
And I know we keep dropping cryptocurrency in there. And again, this episode is for anyone who has no idea what any of this is. They just stumbled upon this podcast, or they stumbled upon anything Matt has said online regarding it. Cryptocurrency, if you don't know, is a digital currency that's based on mathematics and uses encryption techniques to regulate the creation of unit currency, as well as verifying the transfer of funds. They operate independently of any central bank. It's generally, you can look at Bitcoin, for example, is set up by a team or one man. We really don't know. And it kind of dropped out there. There's a little bit more to that, but that's the overall basis of what happened with it. And cryptocurrency, honestly, is the way it's going. So you have more power and control over it. There is the unfortunate aspect, and not really unfortunate, but it's market control. So if everybody starts buying it, it kind of drops down. It goes around. It's just like anything else. The other, as far as Bitcoin goes, is that's all there ever will be. And some of them work like that, and it kind of depends on what you're using.
Yeah.
So what types of cryptocurrency are there for people that don't know?
Ooh.
Of course, there's Bitcoin, there's Dogecoin, Ethereum, which is the main one we use here, especially using OpenSea. It's the Ethereum blockchain is kind of a part of everything here in the convention full NFT world. And you have others, but that's
most
the only
of those,
one.
Yeah, most of those are referred to as altcoins, but for this we'll be sticking mainly to Ether.
Yeah.
Or ETH as it's referred to.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, on sites like OpenSea, you'll notice that when you go to listings for NFTs, usually they're listed in Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's the biggest one that we're using now, as far as with NFTs and everything. I believe you can run into using other currencies. As far as for this podcast, we're going to stick to Ethereum with any explanations for anything, just because it's easier to stick around with one thing where everybody knows, and that's what everyone talks about. So if you see numbers drop
on the same page, basically.
If you see numbers dropped in the NFT discussion, 0.08, 0.04, whatever, it's usually referring to Ethereum.
Yeah. While we've been talking about, I know we briefly mentioned OpenSea, and a lot of people have questions on gas. Do we want to?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, so gas is basically, in layman's terms, tax. It's what you pay to move things along the blockchain, and that could be from buying NFTs, transferring anything over from your currency exchange to Metamask or whatever wallet you're saying.
It's every
it's basically
possible transaction.
It's the cost necessary to perform a transaction on the network, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is I don't know, is it just phrased as GWI? That's the unit for it, correct?
Sorry?
GWI, GWEI.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Small
basically
fractions of ether, basically.
yeah, very, very tiny.
Yeah.
Obviously, if gas prices go up, it'll be a bit bigger, but that only happens on big drops, usually. So that's just when everyone's trying to, perform actions at the same time, right?
Yeah, for sure. And speaking, since we brought up gas, and we've also been mentioning Ether and Ethereum, I want to drop in and let y'all know Ethereum is a public blockchain network and decentralized software platform upon which developers build and run applications. It's where all the data goes and where all the data is protected. It has safety protocols that are in place so that not one person has control over it. If something happens along the blockchain, the rest of the blockchain will figure it out, basically. And then Ether, of course, we mentioned, is the native currency of the Ethereum blockchain, and it's also referred to as ETH. So you may see ETH dropped around. We may say ETH instead of Ether. So if you ever hear that, that's what we're talking about. And it's the functions as a fuel of the Ethereum ecosystem, basically, by acting as a medium of incentive and form of payment for network participants to execute essential operations.
Awesome. You mentioned blockchain as well, and I thought I'd just quickly jump in to explain that a blockchain is basically a system of which a record of all the transactions made in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. That's how they're maintained across all the computers that are linked in the peer-to-peer network, so the Ethereum network. So it is just a big record, and it can't be changed. Like, once the data is there, it can't be changed. And that's really good for, obviously, keeping track of who owns what NFT, for example.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So do you have any more things that you think people would need to know as far as glossary notes? I know we can hit on hash, we can hit on different mechanisms in the blockchain, but do you want to do that, or do you want to keep it a little bit simple for now?
I was just I know I mentioned private keys earlier, and I'm wondering if we should.
Yeah.
So private key is. Oh, hang on.
Look, see that 75, you gotta hit that 75.
Have we got some audio?
Oh no!
Someone needs to mute.
What is going on?
I would just like to mention to anyone who's not a cultist, please mute your microphone.
Please mute your mic.
Thank you. I've done it.
I do want to jump
out.
in here while we have the floor, guys. We're still working on this. We're still working on building this out and making it as perfect as we want it to be. As we've said in the intro, this is something we've put our heart and soul into. It's our baby, and we want it to be by the fans for the fans, and to give back to Avenge, who have given us so much over the years, and especially to Matt, who has introduced this world to us and made us all fucking addicts.
Yeah, I have to say,
It's addicts.
I'm
it's
not
become a
trying,
lifestyle.
I'm not trying to sound a certain way or anything, but I feel like if it wasn't for Matt in the fucking NFT channel, I probably would not have given a single shit about this. So, cheers, Matt.
For sure. Matt has given us something that's my day-to-day has changed completely because of it. It's there is not a day where I'm not on this Discord, and I have been quiet because of this. We've been working hard on this, so I haven't been as active over the last few days. But
especially
there's not a day where I'm not surfing on a marketplace or in this Discord, dropping links for anybody, or even if I'm not in Discord, I'm usually researching. I used to listen to gaming podcasts. I used to be super into that stuff. All that stuff has gone out the window because of my obsession with NFTs, and especially the blockchain understanding myself. That's the biggest thing for me, as I mentioned earlier. The blockchain is something that intrigues me the most.
Yeah.
We all joke about we use our funny money to pay for our funny JPEGs or whatever. But
Any little JPEGs that fake money.
I know.
but this stuff is it, like we said, it's
Fun.
changed. It's fun. We have this
Revolutionary.
community with it. It's revolutionary, evolutionary.
It's the future.
It is the future. It is. I mean, you look, like I mentioned before, you look at transportation. You can have an NFT for that, where you go in and buy, that's your pass to get in. I mean, there are so many options besides just the NFTs that everyone knows and loves. There
Absolutely.
is so many possibilities with this world, and that's why we're so addicted and so hung on to what can we learn, what can we get from this more. And you know, again, it's all thanks to Matthew Sanders, M Shadows,
Whoa.
NSFW himself.
Honk!
Honk. All right.
Honk for sure.
Don't say it too much. You might do something for him. Don't say it too much.
Oh, come on.
Well, no one's wearing a choker, so we're good.
Yikes. Okay. Should we get back to private keys?
For sure. Can you tell me what a private
Probably.
key is? Can you tell me what a private key is?
Okay, so a private key, it is a currency or token issued by a private individual firm. Typically, the token or currency is limited to use within the network of that particular firm or individual. This is not to be confused with a private cryptocurrency, with specific privacy features such as hidden user identities. Basically, it's just what allows things to work, I guess. I was just going to say, we'll touch on Metamask in a minute, but, you know, that's got private keys that helps you to, sign in and or authorize transactions and such. And when it comes to ledgers, which we won't go too into, ledgers? I'm thinking of hardware wallets. The keys are stored on there instead, and that just adds another layer of protection.
So, can you tell me, I always forget, is a private key the same thing as a seed phrase?
No, absolutely not. And we will get on to that.
Okay.
Because I know our favorite security bro wants to have a nice little chat about keeping safe and secure with seed phrases.
Hell yeah, I do.
We will cover that. We will cover that when we get to MetaMask, because I've got a big note here saying, do not share your seed phrase. So we'll come to that in a moment. And do we lastly just want to quickly touch on smart contracts as we've mentioned them?
Yeah, Kieran, what do you think
not?
about smart contracts?
Oh, no. Wildcat is much to answer that question, in my opinion.
Okay, my apologies.
I got you.
That's good.
Fine. I got you. So smart contracts are basically programs whose terms are recorded in computer language instead of legal language, because no one likes legal language. It's too hard to read.
It's cringe.
It's mumbo jumbo. My little brain can't understand.
Big word, too many word, can't understand it, won't read it. I need to dumb it down.
It's for the big smart man lawyers.
Yeah, no, for real.
But smart contracts are automated actions that can be coded and executed once set conditions are met. And they're self-executing, they do it themselves. So it's not controlled by any other party other than itself. And it just generally cuts costs. You know, you don't need a third party. It's a bit safer because, again, you don't need a third party. You just trust it to do itself. Like, it runs. It does cool stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, as far as smart contracts, those are used throughout various NFTs to basically say who owns what, who can do this, and stuff like that, right? Wildcat? Yeah. That's just a basis understanding of it. We'll get into more. We'll get more into these things in later episodes as we go on deeper dives of these things.
Yeah.
Again, this isn't the last time you're gonna hear the glossary of what we have. We want to make sure that everybody along the way can understand. So we've mentioned other things throughout. I've mentioned the word hash. We'll get into those in later episodes. This is an ongoing thing. We're not just gonna drop this and run. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep getting deeper and deeper, and hopefully help educate some people out there. I don't know if anyone's joined us that doesn't know anything yet. I hope we have had somebody who's learned a thing or two.
Do we need to give the definition of NFT?
Yeah, you got that.
A lot asked about that.
Okay, all right. So NFT. I'm going to use my favorite analogy, courtesy of Matt. NFT stands for non-fungible token. Now, think of it as art, just on the internet, right? Take the Mona Lisa, as Matt likes to say. The original is owned by a person, and solely by that one person, okay? So you can take a picture of it. You could take a screenshot of it on the internet, but you do not own it. It is a one-of-a-kind piece. It cannot be replicated. It cannot be, it is just one of a kind. NFTs are the same way, but they're just on the Ethereum network. They're, on
That's
open.
that's like a common argument that people use. They're just like, why can't I just take a screenshot of it? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, oh my god.
It's not yours. It wouldn't be yours.
It's like, it's
Why would you
not
wanna
yours,
do
it's
it?
a copy of it. It's a copy of it. That's why there's the fucking NFT on its own. So you have the thing and you have legal ownership of it. It's not, I'm
Think
gonna
about-
take a screen recording of your NFT. Like, shut the fuck. Oh my god.
So wait a minute.
It's like art theft if you just
It's
take a
art
picture of it.
Yeah,
Exactly, because it's not yours. You're taking a picture of the copy and you're just like, hoo, it's mine now. That's, in a way, stealing it, because when you purchase the NFT, you've got legal ownership of it. It becomes yours. Like, a screenshot can be yours, but the original token, that's like yours. So taking a screenshot of it, it's like, I wouldn't say piracy. Is it bordering on piracy? Is it piracy? Holy shit.
In a way. I mean,
Well, I have a
oh my
question,
god.
though. Well, I have a question for you guys. So would it be the same thing as if I took someone's artwork out there, not a standing artwork, but somebody drops something on the internet, piece of art, they're in love with it, whatever.
Right.
They own it, they own the copyright. If I go and take a screenshot of it or whatever and I just start displaying it everywhere as my own, would it be the same thing? I wouldn't own it, right?
It's art theft.
You
yes.
wouldn't. It's art theft.
It becomes art theft if you think that just screenshotting or screen recording it is just like, oh, it's mine now, or using the argument where it's just like, why can't I take a screenshot?
Because you have to think. It's rude to steal because
there's a reason why you
makes
pay for it.
The amount of effort put into it for someone to easily take it in seconds, it makes you a douche. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So jumping off that, if we look at the NFTs as they are, does the picture really matter at the end of the day? What's on that
It's
picture?
personal taste.
It depends.
Personal taste.
It's almost, it's like going to like a shop on OpenSea. You're just like, art prints. I'm gonna buy this one, and it becomes mine. Legal ownership.
But I do want to jump in because while yes, it is personal taste, some people do it so they can get money. It's a buy and sell type thing with them. Some people jump in and do it because they like what they're seeing. Other people like the avatars that they get out of them. Other people like the utilities. There's so many aspects to it. We all know though that the NFT, honestly, the JPEG on it doesn't really matter because it's about the ownership on the blockchain.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I can take that screenshot. I can steal the or I can take a picture of the Mona Lisa, but I don't own them. If I own an NFT, I own it. Now, there are some times where smart contracts are set up with multiple owners, but we don't like to go there.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. I just wanted to briefly touch back on, like, what is it just a JPEG? What are the utilities? This is kind of what we've been talking about lately with, you guys have probably seen the foxes. They look cool to some. I'm personally a big fan of the art, but a lot of people are skeptical because of things like, does it have a good roadmap? Is there a good community behind it? A lot of people don't want to spend a lot of money on something that, is kind of just there for, it's a picture, it's a cool picture.
I mean, for a while, the Discord wasn't even functional. The link wouldn't work. Now it's up and running.
Yeah, let's just come back up and running. They might have something planned. Who knows?
Yeah, and we'll get into. Well, Kieran, go ahead.
I was going to say the Birdhouse has got a Discord finally up, and it's always worth keeping in mind with security of these certain, I don't know, projects to make sure they do have a Discord that's up and running and there's a community going. So my introduction through all of this was the Wicked Craniums, where I now own one, and the community there was so helpful in getting me to grips with stuff, because I was proper scared the first week. I was like, do I want to do this? I don't know what am I getting into. This is like $350. Do I really want to be buying that? But it just eases you with the community. That's what we're trying to build here as well. And going back onto, like, does the image matter? I would say one of the most basic things you should know from all of this is to, if you're thinking about purchasing an NFT, always choose something that you like. Because if you're going into this, which some people do and some people don't, it's totally fine either way. If you're going into this to try and make a quick buck and you think it will go up, always know the risk that might not happen, and you might just end up with this like image that you now own. So always go for something that you definitely like as an image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I would just quickly say is never invest more than you can afford. Like, only
For real.
if you can afford it. If you're cool with losing that money, if you can live and like lose that money, sure. But
Go for
obviously,
it.
don't spend your last penny that you need for food in the morning. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Be smart with it. You still have to be smart with your money in the end.
Yeah, we should do that with every transaction we ever make. First and foremost, we need to live. We need a roof over our head to be able to survive. And it comes back to that, I know some people are younger, some people are older, so everybody's at different walks of life. But always, always, when it comes to a financial decision, weigh each option before you go through.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Yeah, I mean, NFTs, they seem fun. You get your fake money and your cool, funny little JPEGs and your funny little GIFs of whatever it might be. And, that all seems fun. It is admittedly quite fun.
It's addictive.
It is very addictive. I'm one of those people who spend, they stand in the middle of the hallway on OpenSea scrolling and shit like that. And, while it is fun and there is a cost involved, you always need to be very careful about what you're spending your money on, because, there's going to be more expensive NFTs, there's going to be cheaper NFTs, but it's a fun thing. You're not supposed to be like, I'm going to spend my last drop of money that I could have put this forward to my rent, but I'm going to use it on this picture of a skull. No, don't spend it on a gif of someone eating someone's ass.
It's an accessory.
Matthew Sanders.
Oh, come on.
We saw what you did. We know what you're up to.
I have to elbow him a little. I counted 11, 12 of those.
Well, hold up. We're forgetting about his alt center account. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, come on. All right.
No, we play. Yeah,
It's all
we love you.
It's
Don't
all
kill
with
us.
love, Matt. It's
So
with
we-
love.
So
Matt,
guys,
we love you. Don't kill us.
We still love you.
yeah,
Should
we
we-
love you. Yeah, but
I know we
definitely.
were talking about, obviously spending money. Should we talk about how currency exchange in Coinbase works? Because that is how you put in the money.
It's a good segue. I say go for
Yeah,
it.
should we do
Yeah.
that? Cool.
Yes.
Okay, so in a nutshell, currency exchange is just the process of exchanging fiat money and cryptocurrencies. And fiat money is just dollars, pounds, euros, your typical governmental money, right? That's what it is. And these currencies can be stored in wallets like Metamask. Now you're probably wondering, what websites can I go to that will do this conversion for me? Do I just go to my bank and do it? No, you don't. The platforms we're going to be talking about is Coinbase, and that is probably one of the best ones to use.
Highest recommended for sure.
Yeah, it's cheaper than just buying it through MetaMask, because I think MetaMask has higher fees.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's obviously two types of Coinbase. There's the standard Coinbase and then Coinbase Pro. Unless you're an experienced trader, stick to just standard Coinbase, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier. With Coinbase Pro, you have more trading options, and it's not as user friendly to everyone. Some people disagree, but the overall consensus is just a little bit harder for people to understand. And but there is a pro to it. It does have less fees. It does have more user friendly charts that are available. And it like I said, it can be difficult for new users, but it's again going off of Wildcat said, it's more for the experienced traders. And then regular Coinbase, it's is there any pros to using that over the regular one or over Coinbase Pro?
PayPal.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think you can use that on Pro as well. I think mainly it's just a lot easier to use Coinbase. What we'll do is we'll see if we can drop in the fees table because obviously every transaction there's a small fee. We will drop that in I don't know if anyone can grab that and just drop that in the podcast chat. It's in the guide.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it's just a lot easier. It's the recommended one for beginners. Pro, you know, it has a couple of nice charts and things, but it's a learning curve. Just stick with basic unless you really, really want, like, you're so dead set on having these like smaller fees.
Yeah, so I just dropped the table in there if anybody wants to look in there.
Yeah.
And then could you give an overview of that?
Yeah, so the main benefits of Pro is that, you know, from the bank account, wallet, and debit and credit cards, you don't get charged when, you know, you do any sort of transaction regarding those. Whereas in Coinbase Standard, there's a 1.49% fee for bank account and wallet, and for credit and debit cards is a 3.99% fee. Yeah, so that's kind of like, I think that would be the main benefit for Pro, unless you really like your graphs. I personally don't, but that's because small brain.
So the main benefit is just what, lower fees, as you said?
I think so, yeah. It gives more trading options for Pro, but honestly, if you're just looking at your NFTs, I don't think that's kind of the most important thing in the world. So addressing that, you're probably wondering, okay, how do I make a Coinbase account? And it's quite simple. It's kind of just logging up for anything, just in general. This needs to be checked with like your local laws and stuff, but I think you have to be 18 in a lot of places to make an account.
You do, because I find that, well, I'm not trying to sound like a hashtag underage gangster, but like when you have to submit like some sort of like ID or like government issued ID when you make an account, like whether it be like a driver's license or like a passport or shit like that. So you're gonna need to be the age or over.
They'll ask for identification. So
you on Coinbase, you can't start doing anything with your account until you have your identification verified. So just a heads up.
Yeah, I've got a small list of what they would ask for when you sign up. I believe this is taken from their official site. So you'll need, obviously, government ID. You'll need a phone number. I believe you need the last 4 numbers of your social security number.
You might.
Is that correct?
Maybe.
You might. Okay.
And you'll want an updated browser. You'll want that too.
Oh, yes.
I will say we're gonna drop smaller videos every now and then that will be direct recorded from screen, setting up things, transactions and stuff.
Yeah,
so over the next week, look at that. We'll notify y'all. It'll be posted on our official YouTube page, but we will drop links and hopefully get them pinned in a running thing on the NFT discussion for you guys. And it will be smaller things as far as we're going to go through MetaMask. We're going to show you exactly how to, well, first of all, Coinbase, show you how to set up, show you all that, show you how to purchase either, and then show you how to transfer. We're going to go step by step with this for you guys. The podcast overall is for information. We will throw out visuals occasionally. We're having a little bit of issue with that today, so that's why we dropped that in there. So I hope y'all bear with us on that.
Appreciate my art, or else.
Yeah, Emmy. All the artwork we have, Emmy created that, and as you all see, they are fucking bangers.
Yeah, no photoshopping here, mate.
Any of our glitch stuff, Wildcat created using that, and I want to give it. Glitch fan for sure. I want to give a shout out.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Progress. But we are going to show you small videos of how to do everything step by step. We'll record them, throw some thoughts over them, explaining, so you have the audio visual element as well.
Apologies for the shortcut out there
in this today. So I do apologize for that, and hopefully y'all will keep track of our stuff as we go forward on this journey. But going back to Coinbase, as far as what you need, the ID, phone number, possibly last 4 of social, which I do believe you do.
Yeah.
Make sure you use a strong password. And the person who can tell you about anything security more is our very own security bro, Emmy.
Go on, bro.
What's up? Okay, I'm sorry. My NDR zoned off of what you were saying.
Yeah,
What
just tell us
you
why
just
it's important to create a strong password for your accounts.
Tell us about some security.
Yeah,
some
tell us about
security,
security.
strong
Give us
passwords. Well,
that
I mean,
brief.
okay, you are small brain degenerate if you don't come up with some kind of strong password. In fact, with things like Google Chrome, they will offer you like here's a gibberish like key smash passcode that will keep safe for you. You know, which it's all fun and games until you realize that when someone can get into like your Google account, they can access like that. So, you know, you don't want to have someone who is able to access your details through one way or another.
Security,
And
bro. Can I ask about 2FA? What is 2FA? I'm small brain.
two-factor authentication, my best friend, what all of you should have on your fucking accounts everywhere. I'm pointing a gun at the screen right now. You better have 2FA on everything. That's
Yes.
a half joke. That's a half joke, by the way. Please, for the love of doing anything that involves personal details or any kind of personal information or stuff like that, two-factor authentication, it's gonna be your bestie. Like, it's gonna be your ride or die. That's your ride or die right there. You know,
Awesome.
it's sort of there's not really much to say about it. You know, you can set it up like with almost anything. I'm pretty sure almost any sort of account of any kind. And if it asks you, would you like to set up two-factor authentication? What do you say, kids? Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
say
Yeah.
yes. You say yes. Good. Very good.
We learned something,
Yeah,
guys.
I feel like I'm being very vague, but at the same time, when you are asked whether or not you want to and you say yes, it'll tell you, you know, what you're actually supposed to do. So,
Awesome.
you know.
So speaking of like high security, shall we get onto the topic of
Ooh.
MetaMask itself, which has the highest security that I've had to use to find something or to get into something?
Yes, absolutely.
One last note, guys. Just remember, like we said earlier, remember only invest what you're willing to lose.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Speaking of that, you will need a payment method for Coinbase, obviously.
And
so
that can be
very
card
Most
or
important
bank.
thing.
That can be
Yep.
card or bank account. There are some delays in receiving payment we've seen through different banks and stuff like that. But you definitely want to make sure you have one of those available.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, what do you do with it after that? So we got the money, we got the ether in there. We just made our purchase. What are we doing with it after that?
Well, you can't buy NFTs straight from Coinbase, I don't believe, because Coinbase does not hold NFTs.
So where do I
correct?
go?
Coinbase is
Wherever.
like the step before. It's like the baby evolution of the Pokemon,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
I
where you
believe
get
you
your
would
stuff.
go. I believe you would go to our dear Fox friend in Metamask.
Yeah.
You will.
Our
And
beloved.
again,
Wonderful fox.
And again, there are other wallets, but this is just the highest recommended one. I believe Sarah said it, Matt has said it.
We like the
So
Fox.
this is the
Yes.
one we're sticking with. We may touch on others later down the road, but for now, we're going to stick with MetaMask.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Metamask is a browser extension that it works with a lot of browsers. The website has links for all of them. And it acts as both a wallet and an interaction with the Ethereum network.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so you install it and it does its thing. Only ETH and ECR20 tokens, so basically your Ethereum or your Ether, sorry, and then your NFTs.
So is this the cold wallet we discussed earlier?
No, it is not.
No.
It is
Okay.
online. So it
Ooh,
is a hot
scandal.
wallet.
Scandal.
Yes, make
Okay,
sure.
so what's the difference between cold and hot?
Hot wallets are online while cold wallets are offline. They are not connected to the internet, so they're technically a lot safer.
Which one's a lot safer, the hot or cold?
Cold.
Cold because it's
Cold.
not connected to the internet?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
anything that's not online is probably a lot safer than anything online.
Is that what
Don't
we
trust
also
the internet.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
what
dangerous.
Is that why we also say don't screenshot passwords and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Precisely.
We will
Okay.
get there.
Makes
We will
sense.
get there.
I'm like rubbing my hands right
Hold
now,
it in,
dude.
security bro.
I get
We're
it.
nearly there.
I gotta get it riled up. We gotta rile up.
Fuck you. Okay, fine.
Okay, we're nearly
Alright,
there.
so let me understand this. Make sure I'm getting this right, guys. So we got the Ether. We're gonna put it on a Fox called MetaMask, right?
Yes.
How do I do that?
Okay, it is time to make a MetaMask wallet. So the first thing you would do is install a wonderful Fox friend into your browser. You'll accept the terms and conditions.
He doesn't.
He's very nice. He's very nice. He even follows your cursor when you move.
Yep. And desktop, not mobile.
Scary to
Yeah. Oh, not on mobile, of course. But
Stalkers.
next, you'll accept the terms and conditions you definitely didn't read. And what do we do with our passwords, everyone?
Write
Make
it down.
No, you're.
Give it to your
Kieran's
friends.
right.
Put
Yeah.
them on your fucking case.
Right,
You're
let's put an
all
end to
wrong
this
except
right
for
now.
Kieran.
You write them down, you
First of
keep
all-
them somewhere very secure.
Blasphemy.
And you make them
Never-
strong.
Never give it to anyone.
Do not
Doesn't
give it to
matter.
anyone.
You don't give it to anyone. I'm gonna fucking rant here. You don't give it to fucking anyone, because anyone with your details will fucking get in there and steal all the shit in your MetaMask. That's not
So-
good. I want to
Or
buy my
crypto will go bye-bye.
So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Yeah, your
happens-
crypto
Right.
will go into the vacuum. Not good.
Not into the ether, into the bathroom.
That's
That's
my
a
favorite of
letdown.
it. My favorite Avenged Sevenfold song is Into the Vacuum.
It's the sequel
Okay.
to Past Gravy.
Into the vacuum.
It's
box.
confirmed.
Let's go.
Past
All right.
Gravy now.
All right.
Yes.
So once you've made your password, you don't need a username or email for MetaMask, by the way. Just your password.
Yeah.
Here's where the very, 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 very important bit comes in. And I hope you're all listening. If you're not, I'm disappointed in you all.
Heavy
Hey,
breathing.
attention.
You will be given a seed phrase, which is a 12-word phrase that is randomized.
That is not your
Security
password, by the way. It is
It's not your password. It is not your password. Security bro, will you do me the honors of telling me what you should do with your seed phrase?
Held that shit in the whole time. Okay. Listen up, children who are probably older than me. Alright. I'm going to just your seed phrase. It's your 12. Is it 12? I don't fucking
12
remember.
words.
It's your
12,
words your jumble weird words that are given to you when you create a MetaMask account. And when you set up the account, it says, don't fucking share these with anyone. They say that for a reason. The reason is because, let's say you've got a credit card, your bank account. You got them numbers on that card. You got that bread in the bank. You got that coin, that moolah, alright? And you know for a fact that anyone with those details can access the shit that's in your bank account. And a seed phrase with your wallet, in this case, and like crypto shit, think of it as like anybody who has like your bank details accessing your bank account. It's the same thing with your seed phrase. Anyone with your seed phrase can access all of the crypto shit you have. If so, you give that to someone being like, ha ha ha, you asked for my seed phrase, I'm gonna give it to you, ha ha ha, here you go, bud, all good. They're gonna go in there and they're gonna fucking suck that shit dry. No more crypto for you. That big small brain mistake right there. So, if I will say that there's been instances where like there's been like scam sites or just like, basically just I'm gonna say sus versions of things like MetaMask
Modern
or
terms.
I'm trying to relate to the children. Like there's like there's that when there's an official company, there's bound to be the cheapskates, the sus,
The scammers.
and exactly the scammers, my mortal enemies. So basically, you always got to check if you're going into the right website. The reason why I say this is because I'm not going to name and shame, but basically, scam happened in the past. People who know about it, and basically, You click on the wrong link. You get asked the wrong things. Whoops, fucky wucky happens. Oh
you
no.
put your seed phrase in and everything's gone. Don't even tell
Exactly.
your cat. Your cat could be a scammer.
You don't tell the fucking walls your seed phrase, okay? You don't tell anything.
Tell
not
no
a
one.
single salt. You tell no one. You tell nothing. Nothing.
Don't screenshot. You write
Don't
that shit
fucking
down.
you do not
post it.
screenshot that
Okay.
shit. If you screenshot your seed phrase, I will literally hit you. Okay.
Penny, I have a
I'm gonna-
question.
What's up, man?
So we can't screenshot it. Can I write it in
Yeah.
the notes app in my phone?
Depends. I mean, you can.
I would say no.
It's not recommended. It's not.
It's
No.
really not. It's. I mean,
Use-
If someone steals your phone,
it's
like
not.
my crypto.
So you're
You can
saying
lock
the
your
best-
notes. You can apply a password to your notes. You realize, like, you can lock a
Yeah.
note, so you can to an extent. It's like it's really not the best thing, and I'm like physically cringing as I say. It's not the best, but you can. Like, take the balls to the wall, write that shit in your notes if you want to. Not the best, but
Just-
however,
So the best way
However.
is to just write it down.
I didn't
Yeah,
even
the
finish
old
my
pen and paper.
scam site rant. I didn't even finish my scam site rant. Can I finish that?
Yeah, so
Go
sorry.
on, go
Thank
on.
you. All right. Basically, I already wrote a manifesto in NFT discussion. You can feel free to look in the pinned. Thanks, Jataro. Feel free to look in the pin for my big scam site manifesto of things and things to look for. But I don't write those. I didn't write those out for no fucking reason. You, especially with shit like crypto or just anything involving money, you need to be safe, secure. You need to know what you're doing. I cannot stress that enough. You need to be using the right sites and everything. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Oh yeah, keep your sites bookmarked. Shit like Coinbase, like OpenSea, Metamask. Maybe not the extension, but just keep the links bookmarked. If you've already visited them and you think, oh, I'm gonna go on OpenSea, let me Google that. There's a very good chance that there's going to be like a sus version of it that has been bled into the Google search results, because scammers do that cool thing that's called paying Google to make their shitty website show up more often.
And Google doesn't care because it's money.
Google doesn't care. It's
Do
funny.
not care.
Google is very unreliable, despite what most people think. Oh, we surprised no one. But yeah, so there's that. Keep your bloody sites bookmarked, mate. Oh my crikey.
And keep your seed phrase safe.
Keep
Yeah.
your seed phrase safe.
Do
Don't even
not
tell
give
it.
to
Don't
anyone.
don't even tell it to your Avenged Sevenfold shrine. Don't. Nothing and no one.
Don't even give it to Matt. Don't give it
Don't
to
even-
anyone.
Don't give it to Matt no matter what he
Matt,
tells
okay.
you.
Matt, no offense. Never. No.
No matter how much you ask us, it will always be a no.
Sorry, Matt.
We'll sell our souls, but we won't give you the seed phrase.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't say he didn't say he'd gladly take our souls for no reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I finished what I was saying properly, but yeah,
I
that
think-
being, I
I
don't know.
think you get the main points across.
In conclusion, bookmark your sites, keep your seed phrase not screenshotted, or else.
Well, to go into it, if we can't store it
There you go.
digitally, where do you think we should store them? What are some ways you can keep it?
Write it down. Best
You
place
can
to
write
do
it
is
down.
to
I
write
mean,
it down
I've
and
heard
keep that
I've
safe.
heard of people having entire external hard drives for this shit, and honestly, that's pretty giga chad, in my opinion.
It's not a bad idea.
That's pretty chad, and I mean, that's for me. I don't think I would buy I don't think I would get an external. I mean, I know it's cheap, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you can write it down, but physical copies of things, you never know what happens to those. Might spill your Red Bull on it, and then it's oh no, my seed phrase.
I mean,
Yeah.
redundancy is also important. Store it in different places to have backups of backup. Because if there's something destroys one backup, you at least have it somewhere else.
Exactly.
And never say it out loud. And keep it away from camera
You say it out. You
webcams.
say it out loud. If you say it out loud, I'm stitching your mouth shut. Just don't.
Security
Keep it-
Bro takes his job very seriously.
I am literally gonna I'm gonna beat every like scammer to a pulp. Oh my god.
Okay. All right. So once you've got your seed phrase written down and kept very safe and not screenshotted, you're done. That is Metamask for you.
Exactly.
Once you've got all that information
Yay.
carefully stored, your wallet is complete. The one thing I will say is if when you like go on to MetaMask after that, you might notice the networks. You don't need to really touch those. They're just they're mainly for developers testing smart contracts without paying gas. You don't need to worry about those. Just stick to the main Ethereum network. That is where you will do all your buying, your selling, all of that. That is the only thing you need to worry about.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out also, as this was brought up in the last week or so, is that you can buy Ethereum directly through your MetaMask if you so choose to. That's what I did with mine before I bought my Cranium. It might be a slightly different way in each country, but in the UK at least, I just clicked on it and got sent some details for a bank transfer to send in within the next hour. Sent that through something via Transact, and luckily for me, within half an hour, my Ethereum was ready for me. So you can buy Ethereum straight through your MetaMask. You don't have to, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People just recommend Coinbase.
Yeah, it's lower fees overall, and it's basically the same concept. You're buying one place or the other. The only thing is you have to transfer from your currency exchange app, whatever you use, to your wallet. And
Yeah.
again, there are multiple wallets out there, but it's just recommended to use MetaMask. I think that's the pretty general consensus overall.
Yeah. Last thing I
so-
want to mention, just as Jotaro has mentioned, some sites called the seed phrase, the secret recovery phrase. So
Same
just
thing.
keep that in mind. They are the
Doesn't
same
matter
thing.
what you fucking call it. Keep that shit safe or else.
Yeah, don't give anyone any 12 words or any words that seem
Yeah.
secret.
Keep
So-
it away from
If a
web
website
accounts,
if a
too.
website asks you to write your seed phrase, just run away. Just
Run
close that
away.
shit.
Run to the hills.
Just that's that.
It's yours. It's
I see what
diary.
you fucking did.
You know what I did. Right.
So,
It's your little diary, people. Keep it to yourself.
Yes, keep
Yeah.
it safe.
so now we've gotten the money. We've gotten Ether onto Coinbase. We've transferred the Ether from Coinbase to MetaMask. We've set all that shit up. The next step would be buying the NFT, correct?
It would be, and that will
But-
be on our next episode.
That will be on our next episode. Again, guys, we're going to have smaller videos to cover everything as far as exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
I want to jump in, and we're about to jump into Q&As, but I want to jump in and address one thing. Apparently it's come up, are we associated with Vince Sevenfold as far as are we working with them or anything? The answer to that is a giant, and everybody can say it with me.
No.
Well,
I
this
wish
is
we
by
were.
this is by the fans
too.
for the fans, and as I said, it's in reverence to everything the guys have given us, and to M Shadows for creating this amazing community. We've all said our pieces on how we got here, what this Discord has done for us. I'm not lying; it has completely altered my life. I'm not going to get into any specifics, but without this community, I don't know what I'd be doing. I love interacting here every day. Of course, we get the bonus of talking to the big guy himself. We get to talk to all the other dudes, John, Fearless.
And we get to talk to all of you guys.
Oh,
It's
good.
been
Yeah.
it's
Everyone.
been-
Yes.
We're all a community here.
exactly.
We're big ass
Oh,
Vince Sevenfold
this
family,
guy.
and just like the welcome thing says, anybody who's new, anybody who's found us, anybody who's found this Discord, if you knew of Vince Sevenfold from 20 years ago, a year ago, yesterday, today, we're all one big ass happy family. So
Yeah,
no,
for
if
real.
no one said it, as a longtime family member myself, welcome to the fucking welcome to the goddamn family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This was
So,
simply
we're
a
gonna-
basic idea, and Shadows gave the go-ahead to record it. Like, that's
Yeah.
as far as our.
So a huge thank you to Matt for making this.
See,
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
the thing, we might have elbowed him a little bit during this, but it's all out of love. Like,
It's
genuinely,
all out of love.
without him giving us the all clear, the green light, we would not be sitting here talking to all of you. So seriously, Matt, from the bottom of our hearts, our cult hearts, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I just want to
And
say as
what-
well, it's been so much fun setting this up. Like, we've had an absolute blast doing this. I'm really looking forward to doing more stuff like this and helping
Yeah.
everyone out, you know?
Yeah.
And we hope
And-
that you
and
guys are really
exactly.
enjoying it. Yeah.
If I can, guys, I know we touched on this in the VC yesterday, where we could quick out on quickly. Thank you to Matt. Huge thank you to Matt. This is awesome. This is amazing. You allowed us to do something that we have to cherish, the 7 of us, for the rest of our lives. We put our, like I said, we put our sweat and tears in this, blood, sweat, and tears in this. But thank you also to Jotaro for helping us and giving us the green light to set up everything and allowing us to take on new roles and all that. I know I just want to put it out there for those who didn't see. There was a question yesterday: are we mods? The answer is no. That we are not mods. So
We are not.
any of
We
us,
are cultists.
we are cultists, and any of us would love the opportunity, but that is not up to us. And no one is a mod right now. The blue does not mean mod. But
No,
last
same
but
with you
not
guys.
least, I want to thank Speedy for keeping the secrets yesterday. That was awesome, bro. And to Courtney, 21 DBN news lady.
The OG.
Running with us.
Thank you.
Love
for that.
you. Oh my
If y'all
god,
didn't-
bless.
If y'all didn't see, I need to say this. If y'all didn't see the It Begins teaser, we took everything Vince had done and we smashed it together. We did the nightmare puzzle piece thing with the pieces. We did the TV, all that shit. But we wanted Courtney to do that because DBN News was a lot of the community's childhood, whatever. That was our home for years. And without Courtney, we wouldn't have had that. And I'm so glad that she's a part of the Event Sevenfold community and the socials and all that stuff. Having her here has been awesome. Getting to interact with her has been awesome. We wanted to give that to her because of the dedication she put and the genesis of all this stuff. Without
Yep.
DBN News, we in that community we wouldn't have had the Reddit community. We wouldn't have had this Discord. DBN News helped set up the Events fan base, and I can't thank her enough for everything she gave us.
Absolutely.
It's an honor.
So
Seriously.
From you, Courtney. It really is.
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from my heart. We wouldn't have had any of these ideas without everything along the way over the last 20 fucking years. So to the band, thank you. Everyone, thank you. But we are going to move on to Q&A now. We
Yeah.
just wanted to, we needed to say our
for-
piece. We wanted to
How-
take that time to give it to them. But
Absolutely.
we're going to look at
Yeah.
the Q&A.
Absolutely.
All right.
If
all
you
right,
guys
here we go.
haven't asked yet, go ahead and drop questions. If y'all have any on stuff we covered today.
Literally anything you want. Like, this is just don't think that you can't ask things that we've already answered before. If you need us to clarify again, we're more than happy to. That's what this
Yeah.
is for.
Absolutely no question is
catch
silly
up.
either. I
Yeah.
definitely point
Yeah,
out
for sure.
because when I first started doing this, I was like, in the Wicked Craniums Discord, I was like, I don't want to ask this question. It's probably really obvious.
There's
but
no there's no such thing as a stupid question. Okay, any question is a valid question. We're here to answer them.
Yeah.
For real.
So security, bro. In the live show
Hey.
questions, we have a question talking about safety when buying, exchanging, selling NFTs and currency. Could you touch on that a bit? Are you alright?
Well, hang on. I'm finding it. Safe when buying, exchanging, selling NFTs, cryptocurrency.
We're not touching on NFTs yet. Let's focus on current cryptocurrency.
Just cryptocurrency in general. Okay. Well, I'm thinking, what can I say about this? You need to know that you're dealing with the right people / person. Don't just accept things from anyone. You know, I've seen this. It's like borderline related, but I recall, I think it was a couple days ago, people were being sent links to this website where you get to claim 12 Ethereum. And I did visit the link that these people were given, and I was like, let me just CSI zoom in on this. And it was just really dodgy and just like, oh yeah, just sign up with us and you'll get 12 Ethereum, totally. Ooh. And it's just like, this shoddy ass site. It didn't even come up in the fucking search results. I had to fucking manually type this fucking link in. If it's not some renowned, like, if the thing that you're working on, it's not renowned people don't know about it. It's just out of the blue. Just don't. Just don't. Just avoid that shit. Just because it has the exchange rates on the homepage doesn't mean it's legit. Just because it's a website that exists for the purpose of, you know, like buying cryptocurrency, that doesn't mean it's legit, you know.
Yeah. You mentioned something in your little manifesto about
My manifesto, yes.
Yeah, I love your manifesto. You mentioned something about websites looking similar but missing details. Do you want to quickly touch on that?
Yeah. Oftentimes with like I'm gonna say copycat sites, you know, when you go onto like an official site, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, which I know nobody does, but in this case it's very important, you'll find things like legal and security, you'll find FAQs, you'll find just general information about the company, you'll find support numbers, you'll find just all that kinds of stuff. What I've found is a recurring theme with scam sites is that there's going to be a very apparent lack of such information, or anything that is quote unquote legal and security, or these like 5-star reviews. It's I'm pretty sure 9.8 times out of 10 it's gonna be a scam, girly. It's gonna be a bit of a scam there. Yeah, you know. It's something that I find a lot of people do, which I mean, to me, as someone who's like very active in like the scam baiting community and stuff like that, for me, it's just second nature to be very over analytical about the websites I visit and everything. But I feel like, especially with things like cryptocurrency, you're going to need to like keep an eye out, especially if you're going to be visiting different sites and possibly looking up these sites. So, yeah, oftentimes they're going to look very similar. They're probably, you know, some of them, admittedly, it's very much you know it when you see it sort of thing. Like the URL is going to be a bit off. Maybe the connection is not secure. I will say that just because, you know, your connection is secure and everything's encrypted, that doesn't mean it's not a scam. You know, it's going to be a weird fucking URL. It might be some, you know, weird stock images. Some really just, you know, but at the same time, that can be very subjective. So the best thing to do is just be suspicious. It's better to be suspicious than like not suspicious. You know what I mean? It's like just, you know, it's like just report anything that's sus to you. Doesn't matter if it is or it isn't. Just it's better to have that sort of like, is this? Am I actually gonna go ahead with this? Is this legit? You know, should I be like dipping my toes into this? You know, it's always, believe me, it's always going to be better to have those suspicions than to not. Because I'd hate to think as to the sheer amount of people who have walked into these fucking like malicious like scam sites that are designed to look legit and have these like crusty stock pictures on them. I hate to imagine but like seriously, I hate to imagine like the sheer amount of people that have walked into this and just, you know, like sacrifice all their fucking bank details just to be like, you know, basically robbed. You know, it's really fucking sad. So, you know, just yeah, so I do have just a couple traits in my manifesto that I did mention, and you know, that being said, there are scam baiting forums dedicated to like reporting sites and things. So, you know, if you find any, or if you use the ones that I have, well, not I, but are linked in my little manifesto, feel free to report any sus looking sites.
Yes, yeah. Check the manifesto. Check the manifesto. We will link it again. It should be in pinned, but we'll link it again afterwards.
Yeah, I'm always dropping those links.
If anybody wants to just have a look at it, it's in NFT discussion. It's in the pinned.
Yeah, we got you.
So guys,
have a read.
Before we sign off, is there any questions? We'd like to open it up to the floor and if y'all, do we want to have them turn on mics and ask one at a time? Can we trust them to do that?
Okay, no offense to you guys, but I don't know if I trust.
Apologies again for more sound issues.
We can try turning that off, but it got a little crazy in here. To you all.
Try to keep it.
Yeah, please. If anybody has a question, we'd like to interact and get.
We're not secluded from you guys. We're one of you.
If not, it's all cool. We'll jump out and play the outro. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, now's the time.
Yeah.
The only person that is not allowed to ask a question is Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, called out.
I mean, what if he joined the what if he spoke? What if he had something to say? Haha, JK, I'm
No,
less.
Let's not.
I'm
Let's
kidding.
not go there.
No, if there's
I'm
no
kidding.
questions, then we can go ahead and move out to the what's coming up. So before we do that, any questions?
And while we wait for
It's a few
questions,
minutes for you guys.
This is a class. Everyone, I think I saw a mic. Who the fuck was that? I see like a lot of unmuted people. I don't know who's talking right now.
And while we wait for questions, also I want to point out something that was brought up in the NFT discussion chat yesterday. If this will replace any or some help in the NFT discussion, absolutely not. All the links and the help and the questions being answered. Yeah,
Do
this
you
is just
think
the
I'm just
extra
gonna
bit.
stop dropping links? I'm fucking link lord.
Link Lord needs to
Even
earn his
though-
money.
Link Lord,
Matthew
why?
Anderson-
Gotta live up to your name. Gotta live up to your name and reputation.
Exactly. We have titles for a reason.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes.
So no, we'll still be on there. We'll still be answering questions. We'll still be in there because guess what? We're not done learning. We're still on this journey with everyone else. We're all at various levels within this community, this group itself, the cultists.
Mm-hmm.
But
We're not built different. We're still here to
Still
learn.
just like you.
We're not built different. Trust me. We're not like a different species.
No, we're just cultists. We just chant a few things.
I
and
love
that's about
these
it.
English accents. I'm Australian. Excuse me.
Me and Kieran are the
Hey,
English ones.
we're English here, yeah.
Fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
wanna go?
I'm the fucking the redneck British, like the one that was sent to prison,
Redneck
like
British.
fucking convict over here, mate. You want a ciggy? I didn't say that.
Oh, mate, you want? Oh. You want to go?
You want to take this outside, mate? I'll roll your cunt. That's just.
Oh wow.
Aussie moment,
Okay.
alright.
Aussie moment. It's fine. It's fine. Any questions?
This is a class.
Can I ask?
Absolutely.
Everyone,
Oh,
everyone, shut the fuck
yeah.
up. They're speaking.
Okay. All right. I typed it in the questions channel, but what are your thoughts on the environmental claims? NFTs being bad for the environment, crypto being bad for the environment in general.
I find it funny that people say that because it's like those people who say that are the ones who read like one article like last year and were like, okay, it seems that this is equally as bad as the Amazon burning down or like, you know, like gas emissions burning a hole through the ozone layer. Yeah, the NFTs are just as bad. Crypto's just as bad, you know, clearly guys like, oh my God, terrible.
I think the one thing to keep in mind is that people are actively trying to make this whole thing a lot greener. Because yes, you know, it has been mentioned there are concerns that a lot of people are taking them very seriously. Obviously, we are still very early stages with all of this. This is a whole new world. There are going to be some growing pains, but I truly believe that, you know, people do want to make this better. And that is one of the things that people will focus on when it comes to growth of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and all that good business.
Yes, yeah, I got lectured earlier by someone, and they were just like,
Well, you say that they're gonna make it friendlier. Why isn't that happening like really soon? Like you say it's happening in the future. What does that mean?
and I'm just like, why do you expect so much? We're just starting, okay? We're in like the beta mode, like we're in the, you know, beta stages, all right?
Everyone's got
Yeah.
opinions.
All right.
Yeah,
People read
I
one
agree with
article.
everything you said.
So
I
far.
agree with I'm on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter. Abby knows this. Yeah, they they get a very bad rap. Crypto in general, NFTs. Like if you saw Gorillas, Corn also did some NFTs. Muse did NFTs. They usually get a lot of flack, but I just want to say thanks to the group who's doing this, and also Matt for educating the server. Like I used to be one of those type of people, but yeah, it's really opened up my eyes.
If I can jump in here now, as far as the people speaking down and everything, a lot of that comes from lack of education.
Oh yeah.
People read like one article from like
And
this time
it
last
becomes
year.
becomes their whole belief, basically.
Even-
Yeah,
Even-
they don't give a shit enough that they're going to educate themselves. They're going to have a negative opinion, and this one negative opinion is just going to fuel everything that they say about it, which is just really counterproductive. Like,
And that's
if you are so critical of it, why don't you actively, why don't you try getting involved for once? Why don't you research? Oh
Yeah.
God.
Try it
Look into
yourself.
ways that you can help make things
Yeah,
better. if
fucking
that's
look
possible.
into it. Don't just like bitch about it with your lavish like monster of a PC, that's probably eating up so much power that you're apparently so concerned about.
Well,
Like,
this
God.
is a really important deal. Like, everyone says that, but there are also such things like, we're all using mobile phones. That
We
has an
all
impact
use
on the environment.
power. Everyone
all-
fucking
We
uses them.
all
And then
know
people are
technology.
so,
We have technology right now to be.
We
here.
have cars, we have planes. Everything we do has an impact on the environment, and there are a lot of people trying to make that better. But we're only just now starting to really take that seriously, and it's gonna take some time to do it. It can't just be you snap your fingers, the world is green. It takes time.
People are impatient with the things that they don't like. Like, I've noticed that.
Exactly.
And it starts with people educating themselves and working towards a greener future, if that's the route we're going to go. As Matt has said a million times, this is the early days of everything. And as we go forward,
believe me, Courtney, we are saying how we really feel. Just believe me, we are.
As we go forward, this is going to be revolutionary, as we said. I've mentioned every way it can change. I haven't really mentioned every way, but multiple ways it can change the world itself around us. This is early days, and anyone who doesn't want to educate themselves about it will get left behind, unfortunately.
As the great Avenged Sevenfold once said, "Love it or die." Just putting it out there.
Exactly.
It is a hot take, but it's a good take as far as I'm aware.
Exactly. So, are there any more questions while we wrap up the conversation on environmental impacts?
Yes, students, do you have any questions for the teachers? Your cult teachers?
Questions for cultists.
Questions for cultists. That's
Anything
nice.
at all.
Literally anything. You can ask us about the fucking food we had earlier. I don't care.
I had a pickle.
I didn't get
had
too much
a
stage
pizza.
fright about talking. I'm very proud of you. Good job.
Hey guys.
All right. Well.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, Tamara here.
Oh, hi.
I don't
Tamara.
have.
Hey, how you
Hey
doing?
guys. I'm good. How are you?
Very
We're
good.
doing
Great.
great.
That's
I'm good.
awesome. I don't have a question. I just want to give you guys some love because I've said it a
thank you.
million times. I'm so proud of you. It's so cool. And I'm so happy to be in the same community as you guys. And it's so cool.
We
I'm
love you.
excited to watch you guys evolve.
Oh,
beautiful.
thank
That
you.
truly
Thank you,
means a
guys.
lot, Tamara. Thank you.
Yeah, love that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
He's
you.
giving us a good laugh in the chat. It's awesome to talk to you.
Like,
I'm
seriously,
happy to hear
anything
that.
is appreciated. Any support is
Truly.
appreciated. We love it.
Truly, even
Oh,
the
that's
fan
so
art we've
sweet.
gotten so far.
Also, yes, can I give a shout out to everyone that has made fan art for our cultist group? That is
You guys are so
Yeah.
cute. What the
Beautiful.
fuck?
Was
Like,
it
you
Cam
guys are so
Cultist? Was it Cam
It was
Cultist?
Yes.
I'm
Cultist
7X.
Cam.
You're in here right now. I see you.
We see
Oh.
you. Thank you so much
Hold
for
up.
the dude. I was
Hey,
gonna
oh my
cry.
god.
Hey guys, I need to give a shout out to somebody I just seen in here. My brother who introduced me to Avenged Sevenfold. Cloud Fuel on there.
Who is it?
Cloud, he probably won't jump in here, but I want to give a shout out. Without him, I would not be here.
Cloudfuel, shout out to Cloudfuel because without this motherfucker, I would not be talking to Doc. So praise.
Big up,
funny
Cloud.
thing-
Big up.
Yeah, for real.
Actually, the funny
Praise
thing,
Cloudfuel.
Dark, I believe he has a question, actually. Funny as it is.
Oh, he does? Where's it at?
Yeah, he says, as an absolute beginner with all of this, are there any links that you all would recommend as a good place to start?
Doc, it's your
Link
Link Lord time.
If you want links, I can point you to the direction of the NFT discussion group, and there's a pinned comment that has a shit ton of links in there. But if you want to jump into the conversation and we can go along step by step, I'll be in there after this, and I can drop you links for each topic. Of course, if you don't have that time, jump into the NFT pin section. Again, there's so many things in there. There's so many sections. I believe there's 3 pinned comments in there, one of them being the security section. one of them being the overview that Jotaro jumped up, and one of them being my master list of shit that covers Web 2 versus Web 3, decentralization, among everything else. Also,
I just want to put this as like a blanket over this. You guys can. I'm not trying to make us seem like we're built different or we know everything. But if you guys ever have any questions about anything that we've said in this podcast or just in general, feel free to talk to the cults.
yeah,
We
for
may
sure.
be a cult, but we're nice. We're nice cultists. Okay,
I'm
we're not gonna
always-
sacrifice you. We're nice.
I'm always
here,
jumping
we'll
in.
get to it.
Well, not only that, I'm always in the chat, and I always tell everyone, ping or DM me. I'm always on. If I'm not on, I'm quickly there.
Okay.
So
Okay,
anybody
you know
has
what?
questions, keep pinging me, and I will be there to answer.
I have
We
to
have a
say,
question.
we have to talk about the cryptic stuff.
Yeah, can we talk? Okay, you know what? Let's talk about it.
Just before we go on to that, though, sorry.
Oh, wait.
Just before we go into that, like, I realise, as I said before, it's quite a scary experience, and some people are maybe a lot less, well, a lot more shy than others. So I can't speak for the rest of this, I've literally just come up with this now. If someone wants to ask a question but is a bit embarrassed or a bit shy to ask it in here or in the NFT discussion, my DMs are open for questions based on this if you want to ask in private.
Same here.
Yeah, same.
If
Same
you
here.
want to, I'm still not the most educated in terms of crypto in general. But you got any? If you're sus about a website, you got any cybersecurity questions? I am the bitch to ask. That's me. Literally, special interest. Ask me.
Yeah.
Come talk to us.
We've also got let's do a shout out again quickly. Whilst the five of us that you see on screen, well, not on screen, but the five voices you hear now, we are a team of 7. So big shout out to Vengeance and Snowbat, who are like off screen, effectively taking your questions and putting them in our personal Discord so we can try and get those out. So shout out to those 2 as well, because they're just as much part of the team as us 5.
Yeah, I want to
It's
say.
called the 7 for a reason.
I want to say.
Oh, hello.
No.
Oh,
You
no,
stop. Hey.
Come talk to us.
Community. You guys are like so adorable and awesome and great. And also, can I give a shout out to King yesterday with the cryptic shit because
Yes.
Hell yeah.
He was
King,
playing along so well.
We got the close.
God, he was hilarious.
I was literally like, okay, I was like pissing laughing the whole time I was like sitting there just on my, I was like sitting there on my phone and I was just like pissing laughing like I'd said something.
We'll be honest. We were sat in a
Something about
voice call.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was, well, who wants to mention as to what we were doing behind the scenes yesterday?
Okay, you have
I
to
can if
start
you
to
want.
finish. Start to finish. You
Okay.
have to do it.
You want me to do it or who's doing it? I'll jump
We
in.
can all chime in. Go ahead.
All right, so the genesis of this project was Kirsten and I. I'm saying this wrong. I'm sorry, Kieran and I.
Kieran.
I'm all over the place today, guys. Kieran and I started this. We added everybody in. We became a group. We became close friends, and then we decided, why don't we do something in reference to the band and everything? And how do we get this out there? So then the idea started popping. We needed artwork. We needed a logo. So we came up with the logo. Emmy came up with the logo. Again, fantastic fucking job of that.
Yeah.
Fuck off, you guys. You're making me like become fuzzy. You're making me warm. Shut the fuck up.
All right, guys. But then Nightmare came into mind when we were talking about stuff and how the puzzle piece thing with the logo came out. And we were like, you know what? Let's pay homage to that. So we cut it up and dropped it. And then the next idea was, who wants to take that?
I don't
Well, it was going on
Keep
to
going.
Do you want me to
Keep
just go? Okay, all right, I'll keep going. The next idea was the TV. It came up. I don't remember exactly how it came up. It was for something different.
That was me.
Yes,
We were talking
yeah,
about
sorry.
ideas of like the static, and then you thought of the TV,
Oh, yeah,
and that's where
yeah.
it came from.
So if y'all didn't know, all our stuff had glitches on it. It started in Genesis with that, and that is Wildcat's. contribution to that. And again, fucking awesome job with that. But yeah, the TVs came in, they hailed it King TV. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. We started including Deathbot, as you've seen it. It's also in our intro. Deathbot is awesome from the stage stuff. We included the It Begins Twitter cryptic thing. So we took all these elements and we were like, let's go. And then somewhere along the line, yesterday, we were like, it's not getting the reaction we're hoping for. The coldest thing is getting called out. So we were like, you know what? I was like, you know what? Let's play into that. And we wanted to say stuff. We had a rule we couldn't say anything, or if anybody asked what coldest were, we couldn't say anything. We just went on. So I came up with the idea to create. Well, we had artwork that was designed by Emmy for the Ether.
Shut up.
That
again.
And then the idea came up to have Looking for an Answers, that account, and it would basically be represented as Ether. So he was the one, she was the one, whatever we're coming up with, who all pronouns. Who
Ether
was the
is
one
the
messaging
boy / girl on your screen right now. The glitchy friend.
Ether.
They're non-binary. I'm calling it now.
Okay.
Ether. We sat for hours watching Emmy draw this, and he did a fantastic job on this again. I know I keep saying that, but every piece of art we have is amazing. It's all inspired by fans.
My favorite thing was people thinking Looking for an Answer was Brooks. That was my all-time favorite.
I was sitting there like shitting my fucking pants when you guys were like, oh, what if it's Matt? But then they're like, why would he drop like lyrics from 15 years ago? I was like shitting my fucking pants.
Even someone said, just like, do you think Matt's kids know how to use Discord? I was like, can you imagine?
Yeah, it was hilarious. So it started out with the chant.
Hey, King Nothing replied. King Nothing is around.
Awesome.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
That's awesome. But so Ether started out with just the chant. It started out with the light of fiction, guide us to the ether, just something simple. There's a lot more to that quote with the lore around Seventh Layer that we've built.
We will get into that in an episode, actually.
We'll get into that on episode 3, I think we're planning. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about future plans at the end.
Yeah.
But it started out Ether, and then we started getting a response. There was a few people who were like, oh, they're just trolling. And then when we started dropping Dante Inferno stuff, that's when everybody started getting freaked out.
I'm a big fan of Dante, by the way.
Believe me,
Dante was brilliant.
Believe me, that stuff was brilliant. And guess what? That was all. Can I reveal it?
What do you mean it freaked you out? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Andy was the one who was controlling that, dropping.
I was literally sitting there, like fucking peeing, laughing in voice call with everybody else. We were in VC in our own little server, just like pissing and laughing because we were just like, oh, what's something really cryptic we can send? We were just like thinking, oh, what's a song? I was like, oh, shut up, my dreams not betrayed, shit like that. And it was just like.
The message deleting was what got people so bad.
That was brilliant. That was so good.
It was leaving just Dante's Inferno, but not leaving the Avenged Sevenfold lyrics.
And I gotta say,
awesome.
the hardest part is when we did all this and we had to go silent for the last bit of time. It was so hard not to say anything. We couldn't say anything.
And again, we thought about change. Some of this stuff came up as we were going. Some of this stuff was built over the last week. But yes, that was the hardest part, was going silent completely, seeing the theories up there, wanting to react. But we left it like that because we wanted to build up, and the final piece of the puzzle was supposed to be Courtney, as again I said, in reference to everything she had done. But yeah, that's basically how it went out. I'm sure we're going to have an episode where we go deeper on it and come up with and tell you about the lore and everything. Is there anything else before I get into what's coming up?
I'm just reading the fucking chat and I'm just like...
King Nothing says
yeah, I'm actually the real Bruce Ackerman of Vivo, not Clickbait.
Oh, and guys, if y'all don't forget, I'm using a voice changer and I'm actually in shadows. So.
Yeah,
this is actually the band 100%. You're like, actually, like not clickbait.
Right.
No, we're not the band. Just putting that out there.
We've been asked if Speedy was in on it too.
Speedy was not in on it. Speedy had no idea. I was so wrapped up in everything else. I fucked up and forgot to include Speedy. But when Speedy found out, he still kept the secret. So I do apologize, Speedy. Like I said, we worked our asses off on this. We wanted it to be as hype as an album drop. Basically, we wanted it to be like that.
Oh, can I just add on to that? When y'all was saying, what if it's an album? What if it's like an NFT show? I was
laughing. So many people thought it was album release.
The way y'all
it's not.
I find that so funny because we're just like, what if we say it's a podcast and they become disappointed? Like, I was literally totally freaking out.
We
over
were
that.
slightly worried. I was so worried that people were like getting pissed off and just like, oh come on, this is bullshit now. We're bored. I was so worried about that. You guys have been amazing with the reception on this.
So to wrap this up in this segment, thank you guys for the support and everything else said yesterday. I didn't have a chance to look at it then, but I came back and looked at it an hour later. Conversation's still going. And from the bottom of my heart, we can't thank y'all enough for supporting us because this is important to us. The NFT community needs to be bigger, and this is our contribution, and hopefully it helps.
We're trying to make it fun.
Yeah, again, this isn't a podcast where we're not going to just read you off descriptions and go with that. This is a podcast. You're going to get our humor. You're going to get our personalities. Hopefully, you join us along the ride. Should I go into what's next?
Yes, sure.
So questions are closed. If y'all want any more, y'all can jump in. Of course, y'all can jump in if you want, but here's the thing. No, we're joking. What?
Nothing. I did nothing. Just ignore that.
We do have more planned out for this. As I've told you before, we're gonna do some recordings smaller separately, and we'll drop them onto our YouTube page, and we'll get them linked over here. Hopefully, we can get a comment pin for that, so y'all can see that there. But besides that, if we have the ability to continue to do this, and we're gonna play around with how we're gonna format this, we do want reoccurring segments, which I forgot to get to, but we'll do that next time.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, we're going back to recurring questions. Sorry, back up.
I
know.
Guys, no, you said that, and then my brain immediately went to Mr. You know, the fucking.
Hello, me. It's
Real Dave was staying on this.
Oh yeah, not clickbait. No, gone wrong.
Listen, they've done work on the album. They're with us now. Thank you for joining us. No, I'm kidding. One of the segments we want to do, and I'll touch on it real quickly. We'll go into depth tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next time, because we do want to give some background on some of these. We want to have an updated floor in every episode.
Yep.
So for right now, floor is currently, unless they've changed in the last 30 minutes or last hour or so, we have Royal Society of Players at 0.08 Ether, Bones Club 0.04, Big 8 Yacht Club at 6.66 if anybody has a lot of money to drop in there. Of course, we all know, not safe for work, Matthew over here's favorite, Comma Gang, is at 0.08.
Mal, I know you've been eyeing them. Don't need to hide anything.
Don't even lie about it.
Again, Center is just a, no, I'm kidding, I'm not gonna get into that. Wiki Craniums 0.3, awesome to see that. That's a great community. Everyone knows
Good job,
that.
Craniums.
Let's go.
Yes, Cranium Gang.
Zodiac is at 0.02. That's another cool one that I see people
Love
posting a lot.
Zodiac.
Cunning Foxes is at 0.02 again. Everybody's posting Cunning Foxes, even though some people don't think they're good. But
I love them. What the fuck?
the Cunning Foxes are cool. They're cool. They're at 0.02. And into the Ether, the one that 100, almost 100 of us have, I don't know what the number is now, is sitting at a big old 2 ETH. About $4,000, I believe.
Yeah, that's fat with a PH.
So, and that's only going to go up with the Death Quest stuff that'll come later on. And y'all can check with InShadow stuff. I'm sure it'll be on announcements and all that. I don't have any information, but thank you.
Matt has like 12 of the fucking Comma Gang in his like you can check for
Leave them
yourself.
alone. Come on.
It's out of the love, okay? They're funny.
I know we've all said it, but thank you to Avenged Sevenfold for our IT or for our
Huge thank you.
Bowing down to
Time for
our
the next drop.
lords and saviors. Hell yeah.
Seriously,
But we're gonna move on back to the what's coming up next.
Yeah, let's finish it.
Next time we're gonna get into more about the collections, the communities, and all that. But that's just for now. So if I can take a moment to tell you about what we want to do in the future, if we have this opportunity to continue going, and that's completely up to the band, of course. But we want to show every element of this NFT world, and part of that is we want to show the creator side as well. We're gonna have to figure out all the details for that, as of course, talk to whoever we need to talk to as far as figuring that out. But we want to cover everything because we do see a lot of creator questions in the NFT discussion channel. So that's one of the things coming up. Again, we're going to have episodes every 2 weeks. So the next episode will be on August 7th in same time, I believe. We'll make an announcement however we can, and once we get that figured out, but it will be in 2 weeks on the 7th. And we hope to keep growing. As you guys can tell, we're getting started. This is the genesis of it. This is the pilot program, the pilot episode. So we're trying to figure out how everything works, and we want this to succeed and help grow the NFT community to another level.
We genuinely hope that you're going to enjoy it as much as we've enjoyed creating this and bringing this to life, basically.
Yeah.
And we hope you'll be
We have been like shitting ourselves behind the scenes over how excited we are over this. Like believe me when I say this, it's been really fun and really enjoyable. And you know, I didn't expect it to be so enjoyable. That probably sounds bad. I just didn't expect it to become what it's become, something really fun. That's
think about it this way: it's first episode. Things are still a little chaotic, but we will get it all ironed out and make sure that the episodes just keep getting better and better. So please stick with us.
Yeah, the recording for this episode will be available in the next 24 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna do some edits, get it up on YouTube, and once it's up, we'll drop a link. Hopefully, get it pinned.
And we'll clip the most important parts, so you don't have to sit through nearly 2 hours.
We will do highlights throughout different things. We'll figure all that out. Again, this is us trying to figure out the best way to present this information to everyone who needs the audible and visual source. And also to have just fun doing this with my best friends now for the community.
Oh yeah.
So is there any last thing anybody wants to say before we hit the outro?
Just
good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Guys,
Thank you to everyone.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next one.
So cool.
Thank you again.
Oh fuck yeah.
Again, thank you to M Shadows, Matt Sanders, whatever you call him. Without his approval, we couldn't have done this. Thank you, Jotaro, for helping us get this set up, getting the channels and everything. Thank you for letting us get this chance to do this. And again, thank you, Speedy. Sorry I failed on letting you know. But you were cool. It was cool after you kept the secrets, and I appreciate your reactions privately to the art I sent you. And then also, thank you one last time to Courtney, Deathbed News Lady, and 21, as y'all may know her, for being that final puzzle piece and helping us all and just being the coolest person in this fucking Discord. I don't care who y'all talk to, she's the coolest. So.
Huge thanks to Avenged Sevenfold, too.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone tuning in tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, nice one.
Seriously, thank you so fucking much.
Jotaro, what we're gonna do is play the outro, and then can you lock it?
Yep.
Awesome, and we're gonna stay on.
Thank you all. This was awesome.
Thank you.